Hello and welcome to Big Talk, live from the nation's capital here in Abuja. My name is Erika Michael. A pleasure to have you join us tonight. Earlier today, there was a protest nationwide from Lagos, Abuja here, of course also from Rivers State, even Delta State. The protest is organized by Take It Back movement, which went on despite repeated warnings by the Nigerian police in Abuja. Amoyele Sowore, a leader of the movement with Deji Adeyawo, a human rights activist, was seen leading the protests, resisting attempts of the police officers to take them off the street. And in Lagos, a group of protesters were seen with placards in Ikeja, capital of the state. Also in Rivers State, we also confirmed the organizers converged on Isaac Borough Park in Port Harcourt, but were tear gas before the protests gained momentum. The police authorities had warned against the protests, saying scheduling it to hold on the same day designated by the government as National Police Day was unacceptable. In a statement by the ASP Olumihowa, the Force Public Relations Officer, is saying that the planned protest appears to be a deliberate attempt to tarnish the image of the Nigeria police and by extension, the nation. That's what really played out today from that protest we've gathered. That, of course, they defied the warning from the police to carry out that. For whatever it means is that they are calling on government to shun some bills, at the House of our National Assembly in the consideration of reinstating democracy back to Rivers State. But tonight, everyone, will be turning attention to Labour Party. The last Friday Supreme Court judgment sacking Julius Abure as the national chairman of the Labour Party LP has become a subject of subjective interpretation by factions of the party. The Apex Court, in unanimous judgment, had set aside the ruling of the Court of Appeal in Abuja, which recognized Abure as the Labour Party national chairman. Now, these followed an appeal filed by Senator Esther Nanadi Usman, chairman of the Caretaker Committee, and one others, which challenged the judgment of the appeal court. Ruling on the Friday, a five-member panel of the Apex Court held that the lower court lacked the jurisdiction to pronounce Abure as the national chairman. There are a lot of reactions over these Supreme Court judgment. Whatever it means for the Labour Party is what we'll be unveiling tonight. As, of course, I have a chieftain of the Labour Party who will be doing justice to all of this conversation, Engineer Osureme. Christian Omar Farmer, thanks so much for joining us on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me.
A lot of interpretation. Some say Abure has won the Supreme Court judgment. Some say Usman has won it. Give us an understanding about the interpretation of the Supreme Court judgment from your own end.
Thank you very much. The appellant went to court to seek what the court can grant, which is to finally and in totality put an end to the Abure-led National Working Committee and its leadership. The court had the right to do that by setting aside the judgments of the lower courts and the Court of Appeal, which conferred the leadership of the party to Julius Abure. Then the Supreme Court unanimously decided that the court had no jurisdiction to do that, and it was wrong for Abure to have been imposed on the party.
All right. There are a lot of reactions. Some said it's aware of putting to rest the challenges of the Labour Party, because we've seen that this leadership crisis have lingered for, as long as our 2023 elections was conducted. Some said, is this aware of the party getting it right, or is this still a fresh crisis that the Supreme Court has initiated by their judgment?
There's no fresh crisis. The thing is, I'll say just mere impunity, the last kick of a dying horse. The Supreme Court has spoken. Abure is a lawyer, and he knows what it means. And yes, he's trying to cling on to power. It's the same power tussle that have existed since 2023, after the general elections. They're just trying to cling on to power, which they do not have. They are not on the side of law, and there's no way it cannot be, like the court said, you cannot put something on nothing. It cannot stand. So an attempt to do that, it cannot stand. So whatever they do at this stage on is an illegality, and to be addressed at the appropriate time.
Yeah. All right. We've seen a lot of movement. Abure said he's holding on to the national convention that they conducted in Anambra State. Did the Supreme Court make mention of that convention? Because they're using that to form part of their stance, justifying them holding back to that position.
There was no point for the Supreme Court to touch on that convention. The convention was a nullity ab initio. Like I said, you cannot put
Is that
something
what
or
he's holding
nothing.
on to?
He's holding on to it, but it was a nullity. INEC did not recognize that convention. The convention was flawed ab initio. Now when to organize a national convention, the national convention is supposed to be the pump of a political party. Now for you to try and hide it from the stakeholders of the party, by the party people were not even informed of the convention. They tried to hold it in Benin. Later they changed to when they leaked that they were holding a national convention without the stakeholders of the party knowing. They moved the venue to Asaba, and communicated to INEC. And when again that venue leaked, and they now had to move it to an area where nobody can reach them, and made sure that the stakeholders of the party were not aware. Now, for that convention to stand, certain criteria needed to be met. Number one, which is the fact that they should give adequate notice to INEC, which is 7 days notice before that convention venue could be changed. They did not do that. They did not meet that criteria. Now, for the party constitution on its own, and you have to make sure, congresses were conducted and delegates are appointed from ward and every local government, to attend the convention. Again, the delegate congresses were not held. Abure and his National Working Committee just went ahead, appointed 5 delegates from each local government to come to the convention. It is against the constitution, it is against the constitution of the party, it is against the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, it is against the INEC Electoral Act 2022, and it is against INEC party regulations and guidelines. You cannot do that. The party belongs to the people. The people have to elect the delegates that will come to the convention. You cannot appoint delegates on your own and keep it in secret and only expose the delegates at the convention. So that entire convention was a nullity. It cannot stand.
Because if the Supreme Court said it is the business of the party, who are the party in this context of the Supreme Court? Because some who say Abure and the national, some of the National Executive Council are saying that we are the party, we have the structure in the state, we have the structure in the local government. What does the party say in this context, and who are those who get it right? Because if at the other end, because they have also argued that Usman is not recognized by the Constitution. The caretaker, there's no provision by the Constitution of the Labour Party that has provision for caretaker committee. So that arrangement is strange to your Labour Party.
Now, the stakeholders of the party are the owners of the party.
Who are the stakeholders?
The stakeholders are the elected officials of the party. Vis-a-vis the governor, the deputy governor, the National Assembly members, then the elected members of the NWC, and the State Assembly, the commissioners, we have some as appointed by the governor, Alex Oti. These are stakeholders of the party, and other leaders that will be appointed to attend the convention, the NEC meeting. So as at the NEC meeting, that is where the convention, right, is decided upon, when it will be held, and those that will attend and all of that, Now, if they are saying that caretaker committee is now recognized by the Labour Party constitution, a committee was set up, by the stakeholders of the party. As at when it was set up, Abure was no longer the national chairman of Labour Party. His tenure had expired. So the party had to do something to have a leadership in place. Hence, the governor, His Excellency Alex Oti, put together a stakeholders meeting, where the caretaker committee were elected, to run the affairs of the party with a mandate to conduct a national convention. So, in the case of there cannot be a vacuum. There's no void in political party affairs. So then, for the party to continue, it's a going concern. There must be people who are saddled with responsibility to handle leadership. And that is how Senator Nenadi's caretaker committee came forth.
It's been very worrisome. We've also seen a statement of the NEC meeting to hold on Wednesday, where they have invited a vice presidential candidate for the 2023 elections and all of that. if Apure, I mean, because by this invitation, it has not been extended to Apure, does it completely mean that the stakeholders are not acknowledging that fact? But if you go to INEC website and search the INEC website, you still find Apure's name there.
Apure's name is still there because now for INEC to remove his name, right, it has to be official. They will not just go by what the judgment says. They'll go by what the certified true copy of the judgment is saying. And so by the time you have to give them a memo, an official document stating all what you already know. So it's at the point when they have that, that is when they will now officially remove his name from the website of INEC. INEC on their own had already told us before the Justice Uwete court case judgment that gave that conferred leadership on Abure that his tenure was over. INEC specifically stated that. In fact, there was a meeting, the quarterly consultative meeting by INEC, where Abure appeared and he was driven out of the meeting. He was driven out of that meeting that he's no longer the chairman of the Labour Party. And so if INEC would do that, which is INEC recognized for the fact that he wasn't the chairman, he's no longer the chairman of the party. Now, if the Justice Uwete case that gave him conferred judgment on him, the Supreme Court has thrown that judgment away. Okay, and as when that judgment was conferred on me, if you go to INEC website, you will see right now Abure's name is there as national chairman in bracket by court order. So if his name came in through by court order, because the court ordered INEC to do it, that's why they brought back his name as national chairman of Labour Party. So the court now, the Supreme Court is now also saying the court didn't even have the rights to do that in the first place. The court had no jurisdiction, the court had no right to do that in the first place. So INEC should also do the needful to remove his name by court order. A superior court has stated that this man can no longer be chairman of the party because the judgment that brought him on, is a nullity, is an error, and has been quashed. So henceforth, he should be removed. There's no need to even wait for a certified true copy of the judgment to get him out. They should go ahead and do the right thing and just take him out of there.
I mean, a broader perspective to all of these issues is the fact that some say the crisis has led to some of the prominent members of the party exiting, like the National Assembly. Some person have defected already to even All Progressive Congress. Some have appalled that. A party like Labour Party that came very strong with some say tsunami, leading to emergence of many persons into elected position. Are you bothered that all of this crisis has tear the party apart and led to some person defecting from the party?
Look, there's no gainsaying the party has not been well run since even pre and post 2023 general elections. The party has not been well run, and everybody could see it. It's glaring. And the elected officials, many of them, the elected officials of the party, vis-a-vis senators, National Assembly members, State Assembly members, they are worried. What are their chances of running an election in a party that's beriddled with a leadership crisis? And so some of them, because of this, I don't blame many of them, for those who, because of leadership issue, has left. We welcome them back into the party. We are resolving the leadership issue. It will be resolved. And we'll come together. We'll build a strong, united party. It will be a formidable force in this country, not just a third force, but the force to beat in the next general elections coming 2027.
Are you totally disappointed with the management of the economy of this nation as it is now? What has been your view? Because I understand Labour Party had also said that we'll do this, we'll do that. But in a way, you couldn't get it. How can you assess this government? Are they making the reforms workable? You had also agreed, your party had agreed to subsidy removal and all of those, some of the policy that this president has taken on.
No doubt some of President Tinubu's policy are good. There's no doubt about that. The problem I have with some of them is the timing. Like the removal of subsidy is a good policy, but the timing, the things were supposed to have been put in place to cushion the effects on the general masses, on the masses, so that it's not like you're landing a hammer on them, right? There should be a cushioning effect, before the party would have taken before the policy would have taken full effect. It could have been done could have been also done sequentially or through phases, maybe 50%, 75% gone, then 100% cut over a year or 2 years period. So that would create a cushioning effect, And some of the other policies are okay, but listen, when people criticize policies of the government, it is the central tenet of democracy to have a viable opposition. In fact, there are some countries, our colonial masters, for example, the British, okay, they have a privy council where the leader of the opposition party, right, for example, Peter Obi now is the leader of the opposition in Nigeria, will be inaugurated into the council. The privy council is just like the Federal Executive Council that advises the Prime Minister and the Queen. And so the opposition is a part of it. They recognize it. You cannot move forward without criticisms. That is why exams are written in school, to criticize your knowledge base. So one man cannot know it all. One party cannot know it all. It takes a collective, just like my play, they say it takes a village to raise a child. And so it takes both the opposition and the party in power to build a strong and a viable nation. So the role of opposition in this country is sine qua non. We need to have a strong opposition so that the country can find its footing back to where we should be.
Do you feel 2027 might be very challenging for the Labour Party and Mr. Peter Obi, looking at the whole scenario? Some said, can we look at merger? Can we also look at coalition? Can we look at finding an alternative? These are the conversations surrounding the corridors of the opposition. Looking at that, do you feel that chances are still very tall for your party and your former presidential candidate?
His Excellency Peter Obi is ready to do what is needed, whatever is needed, to bring good governance to Nigeria. I believe in his chances. I believe in his person. And I believe Labour Party will become stronger. Yes, we've had our fair share of troubles, and we're still trying to get the party back to its right footings, and we will do that. We'll succeed in that. We'll build a strong, viable party. Like I said, it won't just be a third force. It'll be a force to reckon with in this country. Labour Party is the party of the youth.
It's stronger than SDP. SDP are coming out.
It's far stronger. Labour Party is far stronger than SDP. Yes, we're trying to build a coalition. We'll see. I don't know what parties are coming into the coalition yet, but we'll see. That's left to be seen. The only way forward is to build a coalition, because you can't be fragmented and hope to win elections. If you want to win elections, you have to be united and strong, and before you'll be ready to fight. Fragmentation does not lead to anything good.
Because some person are really bothered that Bola Tinubu may not and cannot be on seats. That is also the language on the street.
There's nobody. These Nigerian people will determine who cannot be unseated and who can be unseated. Nigerian people will determine that. There's nobody too strong, too how will I put it? There's no God. There's not a God that is in the villa right now. It's only God that can say. It's only God you cannot unseat. So as long as you're a human being, you can be unseated. I mean, we're all in this country. We've had military governments that we thought nothing could shake, and they're all history now. I don't want to call names, but they're all history now. And so I'm not saying anybody's trying to unseat the government, but I know that come 2027, there'll be a viable opposition in this country. And we just want the country to go in the right direction. If you go to the street, any street in Nigeria now, go ask the common man on the street, is your life better today than it was 2 years ago or 1 year ago? And hear what they will tell you. The answer is a resounding no. Everybody is feeling the pinch. I've always had people who ask for handouts and all that, not because they cannot work for themselves, but because there's no jobs. Now you see people who have never asked for anything. They are all on the streets now begging. Go to our streets at night, you see women everywhere. People who should be in school, they are all on the streets. So you should ask yourself what is going on. So it's time for us to look inwards and find a way to move this country in the right direction. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Because in all politics, it's all about the people. If the lives and development doesn't speak volume, We may not have excellence of discussing politics because if we look at this administration, first, many have said we just want a situation where this government can succeed so as to better the lives of many Nigerians. The government has given projection already for what they may have. Do you feel the caliber of people working for the president or those who are also serving, they have all what it takes to really interpret this to work?
You see what I've noticed, I came back to Nigeria in 2022 to June because of Peter Obi to support him, And from outside, looking at bigger picture, how governments are run elsewhere and how it is run in Nigeria, and people who vie for positions for government, for political offices in Nigeria and elsewhere, it's a different ball game entirely. Outside you see people who want to give it all, who want to give their life for the nation. You see patriotism. You see it when they talk to you. You see that this man wants this country to move in the right direction. But in Nigeria, you see people who want to get in government to better their lives and the lives of the family only. They are not thinking of the people. They are not thinking of the country. There's no patriotism in Nigeria. In fact, a lot of the people in government, a greater majority of the people in government today do not even believe in the Nigerian project. They just believe in the project of they, me, myself, and I. So how do we build a country with such people? You have to believe in something for you to think about building it. You have to believe in something for you to say, okay, let us fix it. You have to even believe for you to see that it is broken. If you cannot see it is broken, then how do you start thinking about fixing it? So Nigeria, we need to get the right people into offices, political offices in particular, so that we can start the business of building a strong and egalitarian society for the benefit of all Nigeria people.
Because when you say the people will say, are we importing these people to come to Nigeria to fix our situations, or is these are the Nigerians that we still have that are at home that can be able to do it?
No, they are good Nigerians, both in and outside Nigeria. I've been to more than over 30 nations in the advanced world, in Nigeria, in Africa, everywhere. There are very good Nigerians everywhere. You go everywhere, US, Canada, Germany, France, Australia, everywhere you go, there are good Nigerians. Even here in Nigeria, there's so many people who can lead this country in the right direction. But the reason why I joined the fight to get the Labour Party leadership right is for one reason. Because I see that if the problem in Nigeria is not even INEC, it's not the government, it's the political parties. The political parties, their system of bringing out candidates is flawed. It's flawed beyond words. Nigerians are not looking at the political party. That is where the problems are. So when you hijack a political party, then at that point, you can determine who the candidate presents, who the party presents as candidates. Okay, now when we have corrupt leadership at the helms of affairs in the political party, then they give you corrupt candidates. Now you have a litany of corrupt people to select from. You have a litany of people who don't care about the nation to select from, just because they are the highest bidders of this of the tickets. And at that point, whoever gets elected, that is why we keep getting downhill with successive governments. When you think it doesn't get worse, it gets worse. When you think it doesn't get worse, it gets worse. So if we fix the political parties, if we fix the process of selecting candidates to run for elections in Nigeria, then you can see that good people can now come in. And I'm an advocate of independent candidacy. People should be able to run. Why can't Peter Obi run as an independent candidate for elections in Nigeria? Why can't anybody? Why can't Atiku run? Why can't President Tinubu run as independent candidate? Why can't I run as an independent candidate? We've copied democracies elsewhere. The people we copied, they allow independent candidacy. Why can't we allow it? Then you will see the process that is so expensive to even become a candidate. To become a candidate in Nigeria is an average. You have to be almost a billionaire to be a candidate in Nigeria. The average man who is ready to fix the nation, who wants the best for his people, will not be ready to spend that money. He's thinking of how do I help the system, and the system wants to milk him. He won't see the what. He will be like, I'm not going to politics. I never wanted to get into politics. I left the country almost 20 years ago because I wasn't interested. I wasn't interested. I said, no, this is bullshit. This is wrong. But when you see that, your people are suffering, when you see that this should not, some wrongs need to be made right, then you force yourself into the political arena. And when you get in there, then I got in the rot I have seen is unbelievable. Especially within the political party. We cannot allow it to stand. It must not continue. And the parties themselves, there has to be some form of regulation, some form of guidelines to make sure the parties are sanitized. INEC alone cannot do it. In fact, there should be a separate body in Nigeria that regulates the affairs and monitors political parties. Because the national chairmen of political parties are as powerful like presidents of a nation. They are very powerful. They can do whatever they like and get away with it. Whoever they want to. And most of them just give it to the highest bidder. They don't care if you want to fix Nigeria or if you want to be a good senator or a good house. They don't care. They just give it to whoever they feel like. And it is wrong. We need to fix the system. We cannot continue like this. The nation belongs to all of us. We are all quiet. We are looking at it. It's getting worse by the day. It's getting more and more rotten. We are looking at it. Our children, we ask us questions. When I was a kid, they kept telling us we are the leaders of tomorrow. I'm pushing 50 now. We are not the leaders yet. When do we be the leaders? We had people in this country who were heads of states at 29 years old. They were head of states of Nigeria. 29 years old. But today, a 40-year-old man is being the best he can dream of is an essay to a governor, except for a very few exceptions. Like 0.00.1%. So where are we heading? What is all this? So I don't know.
There's a future in all of this for Nigeria.
There's a future. There's a future for Nigeria.
What kind of interaction should we have? And of course, using your party, that Wednesday meeting, what do you feel that resolutions or whatever, may come out of that meeting will do to Nigeria's democracy? The implication from the judgment, the meeting moved by the NEC body, and the commitment to see how these democracy can advance.
The people who will be gathering on Wednesday, Labour Party at that NEC meeting and stakeholders meeting, are people who I know truly want the advancement of this nation, who truly cares about Nigeria and want to provide solutions and look for a way to forge a new course, to chart a new course forward for Nigeria. But we will start with our own house, which is the Labour Party. People are going to be appointed, to conduct the next convention. Decisions are going to be taken that will be that have far-reaching implications into the future of the party and the future of Nigeria at large. And so we look forward. I'm excited about the meeting, and I'm excited about, the decisions that will be taken at that meeting. The entire authentic leadership of the party will be there. His Excellency Peter Obi will be at that meeting. His Excellency Dr. Alex Otti will be there, and his deputy, and our senators will all be there. Our House of Rep members will be there. The House of Assembly members will be there. Most of the candidates, senatorial candidates, House of Rep candidates will be at that meeting. Those are the stakeholders. Those are the owners of the party. We'll all be there, and we will chart a new course forward for our party, and we will begin the work of building a new, a strong, and mighty party that will be the force to reckon with in Nigeria. Thank you.
Engineer Dr. Osoreme Omofoma, thanks so much for joining us on Big Talk tonight. We do hope that all the situations coming out from Labour Party will be resolved on Wednesday and put to rest for the nation to move forward. Thanks so much for joining us on the Big Talk.
Thank you very much.
Everyone, of course, we needed to have that conversation because there are a lot of subjective interpretation of factions by different parties over the recent Supreme Court judgment. But we'll continue to monitor development coming from that, and of course, having to put our eyes across. But we'll be wrapping up our conversation by turning attention to Anambra 2025. APGA on Saturday conducted their primaries and, of course, renominated Governor Soludo as a flag bearer. After this short break, we'll be turning attention to look at that issue. Please stay with us. I'll be right back.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Over this weekend, ABGA, Labour Party, and All Progressive Congress conducted the primaries just to be able to have the candidate filing for the Anambra November gubernatorial election. There are a lot of concern about that primaries and also a concern about what possible may be the fight ahead and situations politically. Just as Labour Party now has a candidate, there are a lot of factors shaping Labour Party. ABGA has advantage over incumbent. APC announced saying we are taking over we are taking over Anambra State. We'll be looking at that just at the moment. Obiose Chika, ABGA FCT Secretary, joins us live here on the program. Thanks so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, how was the primaries? We saw that unanimously your party renominated Governor Soludo. Was that a way of affirming the support of the party for the governor?
Thank you so much. You don't change a winning team. That is obvious. Somebody who is performing and who knows his onions, you don't need to remove him, you don't need to change him. So the best bet is for him to continue. So we have given him our support, the mandate to continue the good work that he's doing in Anambra State.
But this time it's not going to be easy. Are you aware that APC are coming with a very strong force? They renominated, they had a convention. This time, not like normal APC primaries. They did an election, proper election, that even took, to over the midnight of that Saturday to have a representative coming from a very tedious, contested primary of APC in Anambra State. Some person reported that there may be a wave that may take over the state.
Mr. Michael, the truth of the matter is that what made their primary proper, when there are a lot of complaints, people are resigning from the party, people are writing a resignation letter that they are no longer party member, the people that build the party. You understand? So if people are resigning out of what played out in their primary election that they did, or before the primary. So, which of the this thing that they want to take over from? So I knew that is just like what I told you. Our governor, the most performing governor in all the federation. It's not contesting. Nobody is contesting with him. It's a walkover.
Candidate of Labour
It's a
Party.
walkover. Who is which APC? Is it Nicholas Ukachukwu? It's a walkover. He's a serial contestant, so we know him. He has been contesting and all the things that he has been contesting in another president. Has he won anyone? He has not won one. Tell me one that he has contested that he won.
I mean, have you looked at the factor of federal might? They have also said that APC have also used that as an advantage. If you may use power of incumbents.
Anambra is not a do. Anambra is not a do. Anambra is not a do. There is no federal might. Let them come.
For federal resources, call it federal resources.
They will eat their money. Let them bring the money.
Federal money is bigger than the state money.
They will eat the money. The state money will be the state money will be there for the governor to use to work. Let them bring the money. We are not afraid.
Because I mean, a lot of persons are really having a concern of how this may be for a governor. So there are a lot of critics on issues of security, how the governor is managing the issue of security in the state. That I mean, Anambra has become, a very fearful city and state as we speak right now.
No, they brought in a whole lot of issues. First and foremost, they said the governor is not doing any infrastructure. The governor started infrastructure. They said, it's an insecurity. And the governor put some strategies in place. Anambra State is safe. Anambra State, how many times have you had Anambra State on the news regarding insecurity again?
It's not been long they killed a House of Assembly member in that state.
It's not been long. Since then, when the Operation Udogachi came, how many times have you heard of insecurity in Anambra State again? Anambra is secured. Our governor gave them olive branch, and they didn't adhere to it. People are on the run. Oh, I must confess to you, people are on the run.
People were orchestrating.
The people that there was a time I came here, I told you that most of the things that are happening regarding insecurity in Anambra State is politically motivated. And our governor has put an end to it. So Anambra State is safe. Very safe.
I mean, economically, the governor had said you will transform Anambra to Taiwan. He was making instances of that nature. Some person would say after 4 years, what attempt has he made in respect to that Taiwan philosophy of his government?
Have you been to Anambra recently? That's the question.
We have been monitoring what the reactions of the
what is the outcome? What is the outcome of your result?
I understand they have also commended him on some area,
yeah.
But he has said boldly during his contest that is what he would do. So a lot of people were expecting that.
That is why he should be allowed to do what he said he would do.
Is the 4 years not enough for him to finish up what he said he would do?
4 years is 4 years enough? The Constitution gave him 8 years. So let him give him 8 years. Yes. Recontest. That's the point. So after 8 years, then you can begin to judge him if he didn't do it.
All right. What does it possibly look like, for that November race? Do you just feel that it will be a walkover, knowing that Labour Party former presidential candidate is from Anambra State? And if by Wednesday, Labour Party are able to resolve their crisis, their leadership crisis, it therefore means that people will now have faith again and hope again within the Labour Party as far as Mr. Peter Obi is concerned. Do you feel that wave or that Labour Party wave might be an issue again? Recall how it was at the national election.
Is Peter Obi is Peter Obi wave, not Labour Party? Is Peter Obi wave, and Peter is not on the ballot. Peter is not on the ballot.
But he has to deliver a state if he has to win 2027.
He has said it before. During his time when he was in PDP, he couldn't deliver. It's about him, not about who he's bringing. People are interested in what the governor is doing.
Are people not doing party in that state? So they are not doing party policy. Is that what you mean?
No, Anambra is APGA. APGA is Anambra State. So let's remove all this sentimental maneuvering that they are bringing. People saying they will deliver Anambra to APC. The person that is delivering Anambra to APC, I don't know how he's going to do that.
So he has always been supporting all candidates of I mean, all governors of Anambra say
And,
he's been a godfather.
and mind you,
Candidate of APC, that's what he said.
and mind you, he has been contesting. So that means he has been doing anti-party activities if he is supporting. So that means he's contesting and he's on the ballot and he's doing anti-party to support some other person to win. So he should mind what he said anyway.
But now that he's on a bigger platform like APC,
APC,
shouldn't that move Abga a bit?
no, because
Knowing how strong APC are within Nigeria, they have more states,
maybe
they have more national assembly members, so they may probably have that argument that may be what they are holding on to.
Yeah, maybe.
Or they have appointed more Anambra people into the cabinet.
Probably. But
I'm looking at factors that may shape this election. If you probably say no to APC, these are the factors that are on ground.
No, the factors are not going to play out in Anambra State. All these factors you mentioned are not going to play out in Anambra because Anambra State is APGA. And Soludo is our candidate. 4 plus 4, that's 8. That's what he will do. Like I told you, I will come back here to tell you that, Michael, I told you, it's a walkover. APC you're talking about, they have contested election in Anambra State, even with bigger people, more than who they brought now. But they didn't even come second. So how do you place it? So the truth of the matter is that this election is a walkover. I thought they are going to bring somebody who had strong grassroots.
Is it like VAR?
Not Val. No, Val is I don't know. Anyway, to him, I don't know what happens to him, but Anambra politics has happened to Val, so he should.
You're not happy that he joined APC? You wanted him to come to APGA?
No. All of them are coming to APGA. All of them are coming to APGA. Because they are not going to work. You see, I've always tell people about Anambra politics. That's something you have to understand. Anambra politics is a place where you have what we call rotational governorship. So, who will support Okachukwu or any other candidate except Soludo?
But it's from the Central District.
What it means is that whoever you are bringing, you are giving him whatever agreement you felt you are going to have with him. Once he holds power, he's going to stay 8 years. So you are the other senatorial zones. They are going to stay more years. So everybody has interest. There are interests in other zones. So they would like to let Soludo finish his tenure so that it will come to them. So supporting any other candidate is prolonging your stay in absence in politics. So that's what it means. So Anambra is APGA. And even if Soludo finishes, the next person, the next governor is coming from APGA.
What is happening to PDP in the states?
Anyway, fortunately, the man that is in PDP is my very good friend, my childhood friend.
I don't know participating in this election.
I don't know, but they have there's somebody, they have an aspirant. But maybe by tomorrow we know whether they are participating or not. But I know him, and
if PDP as a candidate, you will still not be bothered about.
The man in PDP is an APGA man.
That's an indictment on.
He's an APGA man. No, he should take it. No, he should take it. He's an APGA man. I know him. Somebody who have served. Somebody who have served in Obiano's tenure as an essay. So he's an APGA man. He shaped the policy of APGA in the state. So most times we begin to see where their loyalty lies.
So in a more situation, if by peradventure, it's not our wishes, by looking at how politics plays out, it means that if APGA lose out from Anambra, it means that we may not have any state to hold on to again.
APGA is taking over Southeast.
But you know, as a politician, you should always have it.
What
if the election doesn't go the way you?
I'm telling you,
a political prophet. I'm telling secretary of war.
No, we are putting things in place to take over Southeast. come 2027. This election is a walkover. We are talking about 2027. Abia State is, OT has been in APGA. So P2B you are talking about is an APGA product. So what are we saying? What are we saying? The praises of P2B today is APGA. So let's talk beyond this particular election and talk about 2027 when APGA will take over Southeast.
For those that will say that there may be some call for the president to probably wedge in, do you feel that the president may have a hand in this election, or a gentleman who allowed the process? Because the party said the president allowed a free and fair primary on Saturday. That is what the party flag bearer said, that it was a free and fair contest. If it
was a free and fair primary, why are people resigning from being a member of APC? Why are people saying they don't want?
They measured their chances before the election. They saw that they could not win, so probably they backed off to be candidate of another party. Some person have said that's the reason why they leave. You know, when you participate in the primary, you may not be able to be a candidate of. You may not be able to contest again.
That's why I said if it is free and fair, they will stand and support whoever that wins. But because there are shenanigans, there are things that are not right they have done. I know most of their members. The complaint is so enormous. They complain that emanate from the.
Did they look like they got money, or there was an exchange of more money, or?
No, they are apportioning blames to the national, apportioning blames to the state executives on not being transparent in what they did.
Did APGA didn't share money? You confirm that they didn't share money at the primary?
Did they give you?
No, probably there was someone that got themselves there. We understand how.
And you are not there, so you cannot.
What happened to the call of replacing the deputy governor? There was a lot of concern that we may have a renomination of a.
That's a rumor. Wait, that's a rumor. To me, I will speak for myself. I have not had such information. But I will tell you it's a rumor. The deputy governor is a performing deputy governor. And the governor gave him a free hand to perform. So
that joint ticket is so strong.
Yes.
All right. A lot to be. We'll continue to monitor and wishing your party the very best for that election.
No, you have to congratulate me first here. It's okay. Thank you so much.
Are you impressed about how the nation is? The management of this nation.
But are you impressed? The question is, are you impressed? But I wouldn't like you to answer it. The truth of the matter is that. There are a lot of suffering. People are suffering. People are suffering. Couldn't imagine that somebody is eating a plate of food. When you go to a restaurant, you have to have about 10,000 naira to eat a good food in a restaurant, or just buka. People are suffering. There's no money. And there's nothing that the government is doing to improve the situation at hand. The government at the center. So, I am not impressed. I am not impressed, personally.
That means there's a need to do more.
There is a need to do more. There's a need to do more.
All right. Thanks so much, Mr. Obiose Chika, the APGA FCT Secretary. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
A lot, of course, we'll get a feedback from APC and Labour Party on some of those things he has raised concerning how the election may play out. He might look that they may have their own grounds of advantage. For whatever it means is that APGA is insisting that they have taken advantage of the fact that they are in the incumbents. They have held Anambra State for how many years now?
More than 16 years.
More than 16 years in the government house. So a lot of our politics will be ongoing. People will get to interpret their own actions, taking advantage for whatever they may have, just to be able to go ahead of the other. But we'll continue to monitor development coming from that. We'll get feedback from APC. We'll get feedback from PDP and Labour Party as well, just as we count our days ahead of November gubernatorial election in Anambra State. Everyone, Thanks so much for joining us on the program tonight. My name is Edika Mike, and we do hope to see you again tomorrow. We join us on another fresh edition of our program. Bye-bye for now.